This is the 20th leg of the Pacific Northwest series from East Alsek River to Haines Junction. If you want to call this civilization, this is about the end of our civilized portion of this flight. From here on out, I think we're going to need skis until we start getting closer to Anchorage. This is a long leg, so I mean the airports are few and far between. Let's go ahead and fly this one. Remember, these flights are free to fly for everyone, so just go to simflightplan.com/downloads, download and fly it yourself. I'm actually using the DA40 NGX. I'll include the link to the mod in the description box. It's got the old Garmin, so you won't have any Garmin issues. So, an important safety tip, the spawn position at East Alsek River is slightly off center on the runway. So I was kind of lazy climbing out of the airport, but looks like you're going to want to be at about 3,800 feet to clear this first ridge. That looks to be Battle Peak out there, sort of at the top of that glacier in front of us. Yeah, that's got to be it. But it's still 12 miles off. The flight plan calls for 6,500. I'm almost, I'm creeping up on 6,000 now. So you have plenty of time to climb. Geez, I almost flew over that glacier and didn't even see it. So here's Battle Peak, our first waypoint. First leg is long, but there's lots and lots to see along the way. Lots of glaciers. Welcome to Canada again. We're back in Canada. I think basically the last 5 or so legs have just been zigzagging back and forth across the border between the US and Canada. And I think we basically continue to do that until we're nearly to Anchorage. So our next waypoint is Mount Vikitsky. Looks like we got some big glaciers to fly over here first. Looks like Cookie Monster took a big bite out of our glacier there, or a slice of pie. Looks like that is always in the shadow of this mountain here. So there's Mount Vikitsky. It's just a good point to turn out over these glaciers here. So there's Mount Blackadar, which turns our course north past Easy Peak there, which I'm going to go ahead and say Easy Peak depends on who you are. So that's Mount Blackadar. Kind of has that classic volcano shape to it. May just be from the glacier wearing the mountain away, but now we'll head north up this valley. Our waypoint hasn't changed yet. There it is. Lowell Peak. And we can stay at 6,500. So that's Easy Peak over there. It was real easy to get to the top of Easy Peak in an airplane. I guess easy is relative. So there's Lowell Peak. Satellite imagery in this area is pretty thin. Looks like we're going to fly up over this glacier. I think I'm going to cheat the waypoint a little bit. Just come up this ridge since the satellite imagery is so thin anyway. I don't know that I'm going to fly all the way to the top of that glacier. So there's Inupiat and Loudy Peaks. Now, I cheated the corner from the last waypoint. It picked up the waypoint. I was wondering if I was going to have to manually select my waypoint in the glass cockpit. Oh, and our next one's Haines Junction airstrip at 35 miles. We'll check the approach later, but since I climbed to 7,000, I should be able to pick up some speed and cut some time off that leg. You know, the elevation should be dropping as we get towards Haines Junction, I believe. Disappointment Peak, it's right there, just down the other side of this glacier, I guess. So much for a positive attitude. memory serves, we just follow this valley all the way to Haines Junction airstrip. So I've just been using that pointy peak out there as a landmark. I don't know if it has a name. Profile Mountain here as a marker as I descend out of the taller mountains. And it appears to be about halfway to Haines Junction airstrip. We're 20 miles out, essentially the other side of the peak in that valley there, I'm guessing. So let's take a look at our approach. See if I guess right. Maybe we'll get to the other side of our flight path on the other side of Profile Mountain. Straight in approach. I didn't check the elevation of the airport. We might want to do that. Well, I see the contour line. Where's my number? 600 meters. It's all fairly flat here, so yeah, 600 meters. I was all cocky about Haines Junction airstrip being civilized and all, but looks like it's about as hard to spot in the trees as Alsek River was. Oh, I see it. Once you face onto it, you can see it, but from an angle, it's concealed by the trees. So it may be tucked down in the trees, but it's substantially more civilized than Alsek River. And this is Haines Junction airstrip, and this concludes the 20th leg of the Pacific Northwest series. Remember, these are free to fly for everyone. Download and fly them off the website, simflyplan.com/downloads. I'll include the link to this one in the description box. I don't normally mention it, but you can fly this with a compass and the nav log if you want as well, if you're looking for a challenge and like to abuse yourself. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe.